I'm going to give you 10 strategies, and you don't have to use them all. Just pick the ones that resonate most with you. So strategy number 1 is to name it and then tame it. They used to say name it and claim it. I want you to name it and then tame it. Call out your fears specifically. Don't be vague. Don't say, I'm just nervous. Say, I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid people will judge me. I'm afraid I'm not qualified. When you name it, it loses some of its power. Strategy 2 is flip the question. Most people ask, what's the worst that can happen? That question just sends you spiraling into catastrophic thinking. So I want you to flip it around. Instead of asking, what's the worst that can happen? I want you to ask, what's the best that can happen? This question gets me so hyped when I think about it because I often picture what it looks like when everything is going well. Like people's lives being changed because I overcame my fear. So I want you to shift your focus from disaster to possibility. Here's an example for you. Instead of asking, what if I start my business and it fails? I want you to ask, what if I start my business and it succeeds beyond my wildest imaginations? What if I help people? What if I create financial freedom for my own family? What if this changes my life? Your brain will focus on whatever question you ask it. So I need you to start asking better questions. But also ask, can I survive the worst? This is strategy number 3. Now, I'm not saying ignore the worst case scenario entirely. Sometimes you do need to ask, what is the worst that can happen? But then take it one step further and ask, can I survive that? Most of the time, the answer is yes. But did you die though? So ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if you apply for this job? I don't get it. Can you survive that? Yes. I've been rejected before and I survived. I'd be disappointed, but I'll be okay. Is the possibility of the best worth risking the worst? Yes. The possibility of getting my dream job is worth the risk of hearing no. When you realize you can survive the worst case scenario, fear loses its grip because you're no longer catastrophizing. You're being realistic. And most of the time, you can handle way more than you think. Strategy 4 is reframe fear as excitement. Did you know that your body's response to fear and excitement is the same? Your heart beats faster. You have an adrenaline rush. You may get butterflies in your stomach. The only difference is how your brain interprets it. Instead of saying, I'm terrified, say, I'm excited. Instead of, I'm so nervous, say, I'm energized. This small shift changes how your brain processes the feeling. You're not eliminating the sensation that you feel through your body, but you're changing the label you put on it. Before I give a presentation, I used to think, I'm so nervous. My heart is racing. I feel sick. Now I think I'm excited. This energy is going to help me. This is going to be amazing. It's the same feeling, but a different interpretation. Now it completely changes how I show up on stage. Strategy 5 is to take the smallest next step, little baby steps. You don't need to conquer fear entirely. You just need to take one step. Ask yourself, what's the smallest action I can take today? Not the biggest step, nor the most perfect step, just one small step. Your movement shrinks your fear. Do you realize the more you move, the smaller fear becomes, or the less power fear has over you? You know you don't have to launch the whole business today, right? Start with something small today. Just research one business model, or talk to one person who's done it, or write down one idea. As you move, the smaller your big fear becomes. Strategy number 6, do it afraid. You don't have to wait until you're not afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing it while you are afraid. Go ahead, feel the fear, acknowledge it, but move anyway. Think about every person who's ever done anything meaningful. They were scared too. The entrepreneur who launched her business, she was scared. The woman who went back to school, even though she was older, She was scared. The person who had that hard conversation was pretty scared. The difference is they didn't let fear stop them. They did it scared. I keep trying to figure out the secret to those who are successful. One thing that just keeps coming to mind is they stopped thinking about doing it and they did it, afraid. And you can too. Just do it. Strategy number 7, build courage muscles. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You don't have to start with the biggest, scariest thing on your to-do list. Start small. Speak up in a meeting when you normally would stay quiet. Ask for what you need instead of staying silent. Say no when you want to people please instead. Share your work before it's perfect. Note to self. Have a hard conversation you've been avoiding. Every time you do something that scares you, you're building those courage muscles. Then the next scary thing becomes a little easier to do. Strategy 8, find proof you've done hard things before. Look back at your life. You faced fear before and you survived. Think about it. The times you felt terrified, but you moved anyway. Those hard things you have overcome. Moments when you didn't think you could do it, but you did it. Write them down. Use them as evidence that you can move through fear now. When I was pursuing my PhD, I was terrified. I thought, who am I to do this? I'm working full time. I'm a mom of 4. I don't have time. I'm not smart enough. But I look back at my life and realize I've overcome harder things than this. I've survived loss of my mother. I've survived financial struggle. I've survived rejection. I've survived heartbreak. I've survived all of that. And I can survive this. And I did. You're stronger than you think. And your past is proof that you can do it again, even if you're afraid. Strategy 9, separate the facts from the feelings. Most fear lives in your imagination, not in reality. I want you to write down 2 columns. Facts, what's actually happening, and fears, what you're afraid might happen. Most of your fear lives in the fears column, not the facts column. An example, facts. I have an idea for a business. I have skills and experience, and I can start small with a small investment. Fears. What if no one buys from me? What if I fail? What if people judge me? Notice most of your fear lives in the fears column, not the facts column. When you separate facts from feelings, you realize that most of what you're afraid of is imagined. And imagined threats don't deserve to control your life. Strategy number 10, remember when God showed up. This is the most powerful strategy of all. Think about the times you moved through fear and God showed up for you. Times you took the leap and he caught you. Times you didn't know how it would work out, but he made a way. Times you were terrified, but he gave you strength. When I started my tutoring center, I had no idea how I was going to make it work. I didn't even have a building. I didn't have funding. I didn't even have a business plan when I first started, but I felt God nudging me. So I took the first step and then the next. And then God showed up. He sent the right people. He opened doors I didn't even know existed. And he provided in ways I couldn't have planned. And every time I face something scary now, I remember God showed up then and he'll do it again. Use your testimonies as fuel for your courage. You've seen God come through for you before and he will do it again. So, which strategy resonates most with you? Pick 1 or 2 and use them this week.